Anatomy Trains invites you to take your career to the next level with Anatomy Trains Structural Integration, ATSI. We're kicking off the next training this September in Maine under the guidance of Tom Myers and our expert team. Come map the pattern and shape the change in this transformational 3-part certification program. Visit anatomytrains.com for details. Do you need help with marketing, new clients, or online reviews? Massage Book is your solution, streamlining all the challenging aspects of your massage therapy practice. This powerful software simplifies scheduling, payments, and marketing, allowing you to focus on what you do best, helping clients live better. Visit massagebook.com, create an account, and transform your practice today. Don't wait. Give it a shot today. Welcome to the ABMP podcast. I'm Kristin Coverly, massage therapist, educator, and as Director of Professional Education for ABMP, I create CE courses and events for massage and bodywork practitioners. And I have the opportunity to host this podcast and create what I call ComplePods. I pick a theme and ask several guests to share their thoughts. Same questions, different answers, which gives us a compilation of thoughts, ideas, and inspiration. Since this episode is originally airing during the 2025 Massage is for Everybody Week event, I spoke with 4 of the 2024 event's prize winners. If you're asking yourself, massage what now? Let me tell you about it. Massage is for Everybody Week is ABMP's annual event that we've been doing for 30 years that encourages practitioners to bring massage therapy to marginalized communities, highlights the benefits of massage, and celebrates the amazing work practitioners across the country are doing every day. Each year, ABMP awards 10 practitioners who fulfill the event's guiding principles with $1,000 prizes. And that's who I'm speaking with today. Practitioners who won an award in 2024 because they exemplify the spirit of giving back by supporting their communities and underserved populations, from pediatric hospice patients to suicide loss survivors. I asked my guests these 2 questions. What inspires you to help others? And what advice do you have for a practitioner who's thinking about starting something similar in their own practice? Get ready to be inspired. My first guest is Nicole Kurth, a massage therapist who works with pediatric hospice and palliative care patients on the Pediatric Hospice Palliative Care Team at By the Bay Health, a UCSF-affiliated nonprofit home health organization. Nicole, what inspires you to help others, and specifically pediatric hospice and palliative care patients?
I love this question, Kristin. I don't consider myself so much a helper but I do consider myself as one who strives to be of service to others. And in my case, it's about serving the young people who are faced with serious and life-limiting illnesses. And it's also their families and caregivers. But I get so inspired with all of the people that I interact with on a day-to-day basis, which isn't really easy for me sometimes because I identify as an introvert. But for me, it's about witnessing the stories of the people that I serve, as well as of the stories of the people of which I collaborate with. So Brene Brown, she talks about the importance of story stewardship and how we as individuals, we earn the right to hear other people's stories. And I hear that and I think I must be doing something right in my work, because anytime a young person, family member, or caregiver feels safe enough with me to open up and share some part of themselves. And sometimes it has absolutely nothing to do with the hands-on piece of the visit. And it's sometimes doesn't have anything to do with the illness that they're faced with. But that just makes me feel like I'm in this very special place to show up and witness their personal history and their story. But I'm also thinking about the inspiration that I draw from my fellow clinicians in other disciplines. And I have the tremendous gratitude for being able to work with group of doctors, nurses, social workers, music therapists, child life therapists, as well as the other massage therapists on my hospice and palliative care team. And they all just keep showing up every day and bringing their best parts of themselves to their work with all of their collective intelligence and kindness and compassion. And we're all doing it in order to provide the best possible patient care. But there's one more group of people that inspire me to keep showing up with my best self. And it's this tremendous group of fellow massage therapists who have all joined together as part of HealWell's massage and palliative advanced training in healthcare. I hold such deep love and respect for these people. There's such a fantastic group of humans, and we've all come together from all over the country, from different backgrounds and experience levels, and we're all coming together to learn, share, and demonstrate why it's important to incorporate massage therapists in the care of people living with serious illness.
Nicole, it sounds like your work is challenging in some ways, but far outweighed by the rewards that you get from working with these clients and sharing the space with them. What advice do you have for a practitioner who's listening and thinking about whether it's pediatric palliative care and hospice care or their version of that, like the population they're interested in working with? What advice do you have for them to just start the process?
That's such a great question. And I myself was a little tripped up about halfway through my career. I'm 20 years in, but at about a 10-year mark, I was just starting to wonder whether the direction that I was headed in was where I wanted to go. And really, the best advice I have is just to never stop learning. For people who want to get involved with working with people with serious illness, whether it be adults or pediatrics, I highly recommend that you check out oncology massage training. That's a really great place to start. From there, you could also take a look at the hospital-based massage therapy training programs that are on offer. I had the good fortune of being a member of the UCSF fellowship program here in San Francisco. I learned so much there from my experience working with actual hospital patients in an inpatient setting. And finally, another really great program to check out is HealWell's Empath program. And I believe that they are still taking applications. But absolutely, just continue to learn. I find that my foundational massage training, it was excellent. It helped me to work with people in a community setting. But what I'm finding was what was missing from my foundational training was that I needed more of I know we call them soft skills, but really the skills that we need in order to have effective therapeutic relationships with our people so that we can see them as people and understand not only why they're coming for therapy, but how we can best serve them.
I love that the last thing Nicole said was how we can best serve them, because that's the core of it, isn't it? That's the spirit we all bring to this work. And as she said, she and her team members bring the best parts of themselves to their work. Beautiful. My next guest is Singeli Zaparaniuk, a massage therapist who works with suicide loss survivors. Singeli, what inspires you to help others, and specifically suicide loss survivors?
Yeah, definitely, Kristin. Thanks for first off having me today. And my journey actually starts way back in childhood. So my mother was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes or childhood diabetes, and as a result suffered from major depressive disorder. And the only thing that helped her mood and improve her symptoms was massage therapy. So kind of from a child, I knew, okay, I think I want to get into massage. And she passed away when I was in high school. And so I went to massage school. I was honestly not thinking about working with any type of suicide loss and any families that have family members that have died by suicide. But then it just happened in my clinic. So then fast forward to massage school, I started working with veterans. Again, happenstance. They just came into the clinic, got paired with me. And then through my experience of working with vets with PTSD, I then started to practice somatic work and try to figure out, okay, how do I incorporate, some of the body keeps the score, let's say, or how do we access some of that emotion that's behind the tissues, especially with the vets, like some of them, were amputees. And so it's phantom limb syndrome. And how do we just address and make your life better and your quality of life to improve? So then through that, fast forward, I finally decided to jump the gun and go full in on my private practice. And then one of my clients, her nephew, unfortunately, was struggling with mental health issues and ended his life and, died by suicide. And so she was my first exposure to that. And then just using the principles of my trauma-informed background that I had, we worked through the grief through that. We worked through self-compassion. We worked through the tension of, where are you holding that burden? It was her sister who had found her nephew or her son. So it was a lot of, I feel guilt. I'm feeling it like, in my shoulders, or I'm not sleeping. And, we know massage can help with insomnia and help with sleep. So we first started to address the physical symptoms, the like aches and pains, the tension, the hypervigilance, the insomnia. And then throughout our work, as she then got into a support group specifically for family members, then, she recommended me, and then more people started coming. And so then I've just kind of started to build this network, and then realized I probably need more training in this. So I took craniosacral with Upledger, did the Somato experience, there's Somato emotional release classes. I took some intro, like somatic experiencing courses. And then there's another modality that I have also. So just trying to get into the emotional aspect of what we're doing. And so not just touching the physical, but going deeper. And that is how all of that started. And it continues.
Yeah. And that happens so often that, like you said, by happenstance, someone that you're already seeing has something happen, and then it's, oh, let's kind of go down this path. And I love that you've taken more training to really do a deeper dive and have additional tools to help this group. Do you also, I'm guessing, have a pretty extensive referral list when people need help that's outside of our scope?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I do. I'm fortunate now to, I moved office buildings recently. And in my new office building, it's a whole bunch of psychiatrists, physical therapists. We also have people that do prosthetics. So it's kind of everyone is, and a Walgreens. So we're just like wrapped around, everything is in this building. So we all just cross refer. So it's great.
That's fantastic. That's really fantastic. And then, so you mentioned also too that you were getting referrals from sort of the support group as well. Do you actively market at all, or is it really all from referrals from different sources?
Honestly, it's just referrals for this specific. I do market more towards trauma-informed care. And so anyone that is looking for a trauma-informed practitioner, I provide that type of service. So we figure out safety. How do you find safety in your body? How do you find that connection once you've lost it, or maybe you've never had it? And then how do we just regulate your nervous system? And that is how I work. So I have my spaces designed. So if you're coming in with the intake, you might mention like, hey, I have a history of trauma, or there's some childhood abuse. And then I will be very conscientious and always check in and ask for permission. And I actually have some fidgets. I don't have them here because I'm not in my office, but I have fidgets that then I give my clients so that they can be occupied with their hands. Or I have like the nighttime star projector thing on my ceiling so that if they don't feel comfortable closing their eyes, they don't have to close their eyes. They can just stare at the ceiling and like look at the pretty constellations.
That's great. Really adapting your session to their individual and unique needs. That's beautiful. Singeli, what advice do you have for someone who's listening, who maybe is inspired by our conversation or has been thinking about it for a while and not knowing what next step to take to start working with a special population? What would you advise them?
I would just do some research. First off, get curious about what is drawing you towards that population. And then maybe attending a networking event, or depending on how people feel about Facebook. I know it's a whole can of worms, but there are so many good Facebook groups out there. So I recommend joining one, or even like going to a meetup if you find like a meetup on meetup.com or like an Eventbrite, and just going in and engaging with the community. And even if you just kind of hang out and absorb everything and don't actively participate, that's still okay. And that's a great first step to just dip your toes into, okay, is this really something I want? And then education and reading. I think those are some of the top things that you can do to improve. So as soon as that curiosity hits, maybe do a Google search for like the top 10 books around that. And audiobooks are fabulous. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to read it. And then from that, maybe network into your local community and see, what opportunities there are, or libraries, or also different chamber of commerce. So just try to get involved.
The beginning of Singeli's story is one I'm sure we can all relate to. An existing client has a change in physical health or life experience, which takes our practice in a new direction. I'm inspired by the continuing education she took to gain the tools she needed to work with her clients in the best way possible. And her advice to practitioners who are interested in working with a special population is spot on. Research to learn more about the population, and network and engage with the community. My first two guests work with special populations. I'm curious, do their stories make you think of a population you aspire to work with? Did they encourage you to take the first step toward that goal? I hope so. Next, we'll hear from two practitioners who give back by making massage therapy accessible to everyone in their community. My next guest is Dannie Horton, the co-founder of the Cleveland Embodiment Collective, a worker-owned collective of massage therapists that offers cost-free and sliding scale sessions. Dannie, what inspires you to help others, and specifically to focus on pricing and accessibility?
I think it's less about inspiration and more about obligation. It's so often the default societal positions we encounter are exclusionary. Like, these systems keep certain groups away from accessing this work. And I just think we all need to be engaging and kind of undoing what we're able to make an impact. Thinking about things like pricing, like that's something that I have a lot of control over, right? Like, I don't have a say in, for instance, kind of regulation that kept massage therapy out of like the Affordable Care Act. There's a lot of like regulation coming up that's going to like remove people's access to healthcare. So pricing and thinking about access to this work in that context is something we've just got a lot of, just a lot of control over on our end.
Can you describe for the listeners how the Cleveland Embodiment Collective, how that structure and pricing structure works?
Yeah, for sure. So really all we've done is kept most of the clients and most of the work we're doing at like a normal traditional market rate. And then 20% of the sessions that we have are pay what you can. So they fill out a form, they join a wait list. And as we do work at our normal market rates, it opens up those sessions as part of our accessible pricing program. So 20% of all sessions we have, people can just name a price. It could be $0, it could be $50, just whatever they're comfortable paying. We reach out to them and get them on the schedule as we have room for it. And like that, having it structured in a percentage like that lets the program scale so that if we're busy, it gives us more, resources and capacity to handle that work without it being a financial burden to us. We slow down, like for instance, everyone slows down in the summer a little bit. And so we'll just automatically have kind of less capacity for that program. So it's really self-balancing and self-regulating in a way that lets the program run without us having to like worry so much about like the burden on our end. Those sessions really get paid for. Like, we're still paying wages out. We pay the same rate, whether someone's paying our full price or whether someone's paying us $0 to our workers. And that becomes a really important part of this. We find that like people are less likely to engage with our program if they feel like we're doing charity for them, or if they feel like we're not, like if we're showing up and kind of trading our bodies for free labor, right? So it's become really important for us to pay those same wages. And we do between client contributions, and then we have donations that come in as well for the program. The collective is really only on the hook for about half of the cost of that. So it's really been pretty sustainable, and we're going to try to keep it at that 20% moving forward.
I think a lot of people listening are going to start getting very inspired and being really curious about how they can start to incorporate something similar in their own practice. What advice do you have for a practitioner who's listening, who's thinking about starting to do something similar?
Yeah, I think encouraging people to start where they can feels really right. Encouraging people to like talk with each other. If there's this work is really special to all of us, but one of the hardest parts of it is that most of it unfolds in like quiet rooms. We're so rarely like with each other. And so I think just like doing the work, like you and I talking about this today, talking to our peers throughout the city, really like having those conversations, talking about the challenges of this stuff is really like a good place to start.
What's so inspiring to me about how Dannie and their team have structured their program is that with client contributions and donations, the practitioners are paid their full wage for the pay what you can sessions, and that they allot 20% of their total sessions to this program. So the number of sessions fluctuates with the clinic's overall client load, allowing them to maintain a balance with their market rate sessions. My next guest is Julia Semple, a practitioner who, for the 2024 Massage is for Everybody Week event, held a contest to introduce massage to community members with limited access. Julia, what inspires you to help others, and specifically clients with limited access to massage?
Well, for me, I was at a point in my life when I really needed massage and didn't even realize it. I was just not feeling good from a variety of injuries that I incurred when I was younger. And, they catch up with you. So it's like all of a sudden I was 30. This was many years ago. And not feeling right. And it was my mother-in-law at the time that said, there's somebody I want you to see. And she paid for my first visit. And I just felt more in touch with my body than I had in such a long time. And it just helped me connect with myself in a much deeper way and helped me listen to my body more. And I was like, whoa, this is powerful. So I wanted to do that for other people. He helped me so much that I was like, this is something I could do. So it's as simple as that. Like, I wanted to give other people that gift.
Simple, but powerful.
Yeah. And then with limited access, I guess that was at a time when I had limited access financially, And then throughout the years of my career, I've met people who talk about somebody else in their lives who had limited access to massage. And I'm like, why don't you just tell them to come in, or I'll give you my friends and family discount, or you don't have to take anything off. You can come in, just meet me, lay on my table, and let's, feel where you're at and what you're comfortable with. There are a lot of people out there who, for whatever reason, really want a massage, but don't feel comfortable asking for it. Yeah. That's the simple answer.
So, inspired by that, you created a really interesting contest for the 2024 Massage is for Everybody event. Tell us more about that.
Well, I took it pretty literally. Massage is for everybody. So I asked my clients, I went on a local Facebook page for the city of Fort Collins and put it out there that I would be giving away a free 1-hour massage to an individual. And I wanted other people to nominate someone for that, for whatever reason in their lives that they thought really could use a massage and couldn't get one. I put it out there for a business because I've done a lot of chair massage at different businesses during like their stressful times. And I thought there's got to be a team of people who really need this and it's not in their like budget or whatever. And then a drawing for the people who nominated other people because the caregivers often aren't caring for themselves.
You had some pretty amazing people nominated and win the contest, didn't you?
Yeah, I get to meet some really wonderful people. One of my favorites, they were new here in town. And I know how that is, having moved here only 3 years ago myself. And they had a very hard physical job. They were a mechanic and just didn't have the time, the money, and didn't know anybody. So when their partner nominated them, I was really, really, really happy. And the group that I went to, they were mental health professionals, and they are giving and giving and giving and giving. And they are in a group that helps people with limited access to mental health professionals. So I was like, oh, this is a win-win.
I love that. And I love that you got the community involved in nominating people that otherwise, like you said earlier, may not know about massage or be able to access it on their own. What a beautiful way to get everyone involved and then do a drawing from the people who nominated others. So giving back to the people who were giving to others. That's beautiful. I know that our listeners are going to be inspired by what you did. What advice do you have for a practitioner who's listening and thinking about starting something similar in their own practice?
Well, whatever sparks them, whatever their desire is, because honestly, I was thinking, is this too basic? Like, really, I had that idea. I was just like, oh, I don't know. Somehow I should make this fancier. and keeping it simple is the best. It's what I really wanted to do. So I would say to anyone listening who wants to enter the contest, just do the first thing that calls to you, because that's the right thing. And that's probably what your community needs.
Julia's inspiration to introduce others to massage, like her mother-in-law did for her, is a wonderful starting point for what she did. She got her community involved to nominate others that would benefit massage who didn't already have access. She kept it simple, and she was able to share massage with several community members. I love her advice of, do the first thing that calls to you. That's probably what your community needs. So, what's calling you? We've heard from 4 practitioners who created their own unique way to give back to their community and work with underserved populations. Did hearing their stories spark some inspiration for you? Did they encourage you to take the first step towards something you want to do to give back, make massage accessible, or work with a certain population? I hope so, and go do it. For the 2025 Massages for Everybody Week event, the ABMP team is providing chair massage for the nurses at a local pediatric hospital, and the ABMP staff is donating items on the hospital's wish list for their patients. I often volunteer in my community giving chair massage to the employees of nonprofit organizations. My advice, if it feels intimidating, which it might, start small. Identify a group you'd like to work with and reach out to them to offer a one-time interaction. See how it feels and build from there. But as you heard from my guests, giving back doesn't always mean volunteering. There are just as many paid opportunities to make massage accessible and work with special populations. Create the one that works for you. And while there is a Massage is for Everybody week, it's really a year-round initiative. So don't wait until next July to get started. Do something today or next week or next month to bring the benefits of massage to your community. Visit abmp.com/massage-week to learn more about the event, its guiding principles, the 2024 award winners I spoke with, and the new 2025 award winners. I hope this ComplePod has given you some inspiration and ideas you can use to give back by supporting your community and underserved populations. Please share your thoughts, ideas, and inspiration with me by emailing me at CE for continuing education, CE@abmp.com. Thanks for listening and have a beautiful day. Precision Neuromuscular Therapy has been teaching high-quality seminars across the country for over 20 years. Founded by Doug Nelson, PNMT uses problem-solving skills and precise treatment options to get powerful results for your clients. PNMT seminars focus on honing your assessment and palpation skills to precisely target the source of your client's pain while understanding the why behind the what. Meet us in a hands-on seminar or online in the PNMT portal and let us join you on your learning journey. Learn more at pnmt.org.